Okay, good day everyone. Alright, so in today's lecture for day 7, I'm going to be talking about some of my favorite functions in CRM. So we're going to talk about working with activities and how we can use these activities to manage what's going on inside opportunities and so forth. And specifically the one I'm going to be talking about the most is the task activity. We're going to talk about creating, assigning and completing tasks, adding a task grid on an opportunity. So this is actually part of customization and configuration, which I normally do in week 4, but I just want to show you something that's pretty cool that we can actually do within an opportunity. So you're going to get to see a little bit of customization and configuration in this video. And then finally I'm going to wrap up today's session with working with documents in OneDrive. So how do we actually activate and use OneDrive within CRM? So remember, the one thing that's unique about Dynamics is it's hosted inside the entire Microsoft or Office 365 ecosystem. So, for example, if I went to my Office 365 login page, although Dynamics is one of my applications, actually all of these applications, OneDrive, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, OneNote, SharePoint, and Flow, actually all communicate with each other. Some of them communicate using the Flow connector, and others are connected directly. And tonight we're going to look at SharePoint, and we're going to look at OneDrive. And in later videos I'm going to show you how to work with some of these other records. Alright, so let's get into it. Alright, so one of my favorite things on an opportunity is tasks. So let me give you some context. Let's say, for example, I'm working on an opportunity, and the opportunity that I'm working on, there's possibly a team of people. Alright, so if there's a team of people working on an opportunity, they may be other salespeople. They could also be people that have to perform tasks like calling the customer or booking appointments or ordering stock or scheduling equipment. And there could be various tasks that you want to do within an actual opportunity that involves a whole team of people. So the first one I want to show you is something called sharing an opportunity. All right. So on your once an opportunity is open, now because I'm the owner of the opportunity, essentially nobody else can work on this opportunity unless the security permissions allow them to do so. However, opposed to me assigning an opportunity to somebody else, which essentially takes this opportunity and gives it to somebody else, what I want to do is I want to include another salesperson. So there's another salesperson that's working on this opportunity that I want them to have equal rights with this opportunity with me. So to do that, I'm going to click on the ellipse at the end here. So remember, these 3 dots is called an ellipse, and then I click on share. So what this does, it opens the share window, and now I can actually go and add a user. So click on add user. I'm going to type in that I can either type in the user's name over here. So I'm going to say Nandis in this instance. Click on search, select their name, and click on select. I can obviously add multiple users, but in this case I just want to add Nandis. I can also define what permissions Nandis has. So I'm going to give him the opportunity to read my opportunity. I'm going to let him edit the opportunity. I don't want him to delete it, but I want him to be able to add records or assign or append. Append means I want to be able to attach records to the opportunity. So in other words, he'll have the ability to create a task. So you are appending a task to an opportunity, or attach documents. Hence, you are appending documents to the opportunity. Okay. And do I want him to assign the opportunity to somebody else? No, I don't. And do I want him to be able to share it as well? No. So basically, he's going to be able to read, write, and work on the actual opportunity. Now, once I click on share, Nandis he won't get a notification letting him know that I've shared the opportunity with him. However, I've obviously discussed it with him already, so he'll know that he's able to actually work on this opportunity with me. All right. Now let's say, for example, what I want to do is I want to create a task. So I'm working on this customer. The customer's name is John Black with customer PTY Limited, and I need Nandis to order equipment, right? So let's say, what can we use as an example? I want him to order stationery because we're going to go do business analysis. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a task, and I'm going to assign that task to Nandis, right? So I'm going to click on the plus, and then I'm going to go to tasks. Alright, then I'm going to go enter a subject. So let's say order stationery, and then please, I'm basically enter the task description. So what must he do? Please order stationery for the business analysis we're going to be performing, and I need him to start this task today, and he must be finished, or sorry, the due date is when must he be finished by. So let's say Friday he needs to be finished, and he needs to be finished by, let's say close of business, right? So let's scroll down to 4:30 p.m. All right, cool. And then in the task it says to do with which opportunity, or the yeah, there we go. The duration, priority, I'm going to deem this as a high priority case, okay? But on the top here, I'm going to remove my name, and I'm going to put Nandis, okay? Let me spell it correctly. Alright, so this is the name of a coworker, and then save and close. Okay, now watch what happens. You see in the task pane in my timeline over here, I will be able to see that I've actually assigned a task. Now when Nandis goes into his dashboard, he'll be able to see tasks that have been assigned to him. Okay, so I can use this task thing or the method of assigning tasks to people or various people in my company quite effectively, because it allows me to delegate different work items to different people. The nice thing as well is with regards to Outlook, if you have Outlook installed, inside your environment, if I assign a task to somebody and you, let's say for example, log into Outlook Online, or you have Dynamics installed on your PC, you would actually see your task come through in Outlook as well, which is really, really great. Okay, so there's that two-way synchronization. But what I also notice is that in my timeline, it actually records everything to do with my tasks and various emails that I've sent and so forth. Let me give you an example. Let's send an email to the customer. So click on the plus, and I'm going to say send email. Now obviously, you know, when you do this, it's actually sending the email from your personal email address that's connected to CRM directly to the customer. Alright, so let's just say query about BA session, so the business analysis session. I'm going to say good day, just wanted to confirm if this Friday will be good for our meeting, for example, and then finish it off, kind regards, and your name, right? You can obviously go in your personal settings and set up a signature, so that's quite handy to do, but in this case I'm just going to keep it simple. Okay, now that I've created my email, I can click on send, and this will send the email off to the person. But notice what happens in my timeline. In my timeline, I now have an email, I have the task that I was created. So what is the timeline? The timeline is essentially recording all the events that's happening within the opportunity. So what I want to do is because this opportunity is task intensive, in other words, I'm delegating and creating tasks for a lot of different users, what I want to be able to do is I want to be able to create a tab that shows me the list of all the tasks, and I want to be able to see who's completed what tasks. So it gives me and my teammate Nandis that's working on this opportunity clear visibility of what tasks have been delegated, to who they've been delegated, and what's the status of those tasks. Are they complete or not complete? Alright, so let me show you how to do this. So from your, we're going to go to the gear over here and then navigate to advanced settings, right? So you can open the advanced settings. Now like I said, this is something I normally do in week 4, but I'm just jumping ahead to show you something really cool. That is, this is a function that I get requested from a lot of customers, right? Okay, so click on the drop down and I'm going to navigate to customizations. Generally speaking, this is not the way you should do it. You should do it in a solution, but I'll explain that in week 4. But to keep it simple, I'm going to go to customizations. I'm going to click on customize the system. Okay. Now something is very important for you to see over here. Right, so these are the entities. These are all your entities that exist in the system. So remember what I said an entity is. An entity is where your records sit. In a programming type language, we would call these your tables. All right, if those of you who understand programming. All right, and then inside the table is your records, which we refer to in CRM as records as well. All right, so what I'm looking for is opportunity, this one over here. And inside this opportunity entity is all of the settings. Okay, I'm not going to get into too much detail on it right now because we're going to cover that in week 4, but we're looking for forms. Okay, now why am I looking for forms? Because what I want on my actual opportunities, I want to put one more tab over here that says tasks. or team task. Let's call it team tasks. Now, in order to add a new tab onto this form over here, I would need to go into the customizations, create a new tab, and then I want to create a list of only the tasks that have been signed. I don't want to mix it up with all my emails and the rest of the activities. Alright, so let's go to our customizations. Let's click on Customize a System, which we've already done. There it is there. Okay, now check this out, right? You can see on the opportunity you have, it says opportunity on top here. You can see that over there. So the first word opportunity is referring to the entity, so that's the opportunity entity that we're on, and the second one over here is referring to the form name that we're on. So this here is what we refer to as a form, so it's the form name. So if I go and open my customizations window, you'll see it says opportunity, and there it says opportunity. If we click down, you'll see it says project service automation, and then over here you'll see project information. Field service information, there's field service. So this is actually where the forms are stored and configured. Alright, so the one we're looking at over here is the opportunity form, right? So let's go click on opportunity, and this will pop open the actual opportunity form that we're working on. Alright, so generally speaking, just to reiterate, is when we do customization and configuration, the general rule of thumb is we don't go and do customizations on out-of-the-box forms. What I prefer to do is rather make a copy of the form, put it into your personal solution, and then go and customize it from there. But we will do that in week 4 in customization and configuration. On your trial environment, by all means, go ahead, but it is best practice to rather stick to the rules and keep your system clean. Okay, so you see over here where it says summary, this is a tab. Okay, so let's go look at the form. Okay, let's move this to one side. And let's actually just collapse that menu. You see where it says summary here, and then if I open, you'll see the first tab is summary, right? If I scroll down, the next section is called product line items, and then you see it says product line items, and the next one is called quotes. Let's move my window over. There's quotes, and there's field service, right? So what I want to do is I want a new one. Okay, so I'm going to click on the field service over here, and then I'm going to click on insert, right? And then I want to click, you see where it says one column here. If you actually open your screen a bit bigger, you'll see what I want is a new tab. Okay, so click on one, it'll open a new tab. Let's double click on this tab, and let's give this tab a new name. So we're going to, we said it earlier, we're going to call this team tasks, right? Okay, let's neaten that up a bit. Team tasks. There we go. And these settings over here basically says show the label on the tab form. So yes, we do want the label. And then expand this tab by default. We want that as yes. Okay, because you can actually set these tabs to automatically collapse, and then the user actually has to open them, right? I'll show you what a collapsed tab actually looks like. Okay, so once we've added the section, the next thing to do is to go and actually add the tasks. So we select the section where we want the task to show. We click on subgrid. So this is actually going to create a window in the opportunity of the list of tasks, right? So let's go, I'm going to give it a name, so team tasks. Okay, and this is, so there's a difference between a name and a label. So the label is what people see as the label on the screen, like that's a label, alright? And the name is the actual unique name in CRM, alright? But I'm not going to show the label because I'm using the section as the label. Alright, so if I had multiple sections inside my tab, then I'd give each one a label. In this case, I'm not. Alright, so the first one we look at here is records. What records do you want to see? So it says only related records. That's the one we want. Alright, so only related records means records that are connected directly to the opportunity we're looking at. Okay. The next thing is which entity. So we're looking for the task entity. Okay, so there's the task entity over there. We want to show tasks. Then, which is the default pane? Now, if I select my tasks, it's only going to show me the tasks that actually belong to me personally. But what I want is all the tasks that belong to all the teams that are only related to this opportunity. Fantastic. Okay, cool. And then let's go and save. All right, so that's done. The next thing I want to do is I want to set the default height or number of records that it shows per page. So generally speaking, it's normally quite small, so we want to make it a lot bigger. So to do that, we can go to formatting, and you'll see on the bottom here where it says row layout. I want to show, let's say, 15 rows, and I also want it to automatically expand. So what that means is I can have 15 rows of data, and when it gets to 16, the height will become higher. Alright, that's the automatic expand function. If I don't select this function, then what happens is it creates page 1, page 2, page 3 with 15 records per page. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, let's reduce this to 10, and then have it not collapse. Okay, there we go. So you'll notice the window is much bigger now. Alright, so the next thing to do is to actually commit these changes. So don't forget, always click Save first. Once it's saved, the next thing to do is Publish. And there we go. We click on Publish. So this actually commits the changes that you've made. And then we just wait for the customizations to publish. You might sometimes get an error that'll come up where it'll basically ask you, do you want to wait? Just click on yes and or select to wait. Don't cancel it. It will eventually go through. Once you're finished, you can minimize this. Alright, so I don't like to just close it straight off, because if there's any changes or tweaks I want to make, I'll rather go and make those tweaks and then finally publish and close it. Alright. Now you notice it hasn't taken effect yet. That's because I need to refresh CRM. So let's go do that. Let's refresh. And now we're expecting to see team tasks. And there we go. So now, if I click on team tasks, my tab will open, and it only shows me the subject, which is order stationery, regarding which opportunity, who's working on it, it's a high priority, when is the due date that he needs to complete it, and he has not started it yet. Okay, so now what essentially I have is I have a list of everything, all the tasks that I've actually assigned to somebody, which is really awesome to have, right? Cool, let's actually go and close this task, and let's see what it looks like, or see how to actually close the task. So just imagine Nandis is logged in now, and he's looking at the task, and he'll go in here and he'll maybe add some notes to the task. You can obviously go into the task and add some more tabs for different things you want to add to tasks, but let's just keep it simple. Okay, let's say stationery ordered. Alright, ordered. There's a related side where we can add different stuff over here. We can add more tabs if we want to, but let's say he's done. Okay, we click, Nandis will click on mark complete, which now sets it to completed. Alright, so we can actually get a timeline of everything that's going on. Alright, cool. So it helps me to plan and delegate tasks to different users. So that's one of my favorite functions. I love that function. Another thing you can do, another method, way I've seen it used, I've actually seen it used almost like a timesheet. So for example, you have an opportunity that's open, but it's a service-based opportunity. So let's say, for example, you've got a cleaning company or a cleaning service, and you've got a bunch of people that need to go out to a site. They can come back and they can load tasks, or you can assign tasks to them, and when they finish those tasks, you can mark them as completed, which in essence tells me the total duration and how many tasks were completed and what was actually completed. There's so many ways to use it. You just really got to get quite creative with it. All right, cool. Let's see what's next on our agenda. All right, okay, we've done that, and then finally let's go and look at OneDrive. All right. Okay, so the OneDrive one. Okay, again, to activate OneDrive, we need to go into advanced settings. If you didn't get that, we click on the little gear over here, and we go to advanced settings, which will open the settings over here. Now, your OneDrive configuration is relatively simple, but for some reason can be sometimes quite confusing. So once you're in your settings, you want to go to data management over here. Oh, sorry, document management. Document management. Okay. Now, before any entity can be used for document management, in other words, I don't want to store my files, notes, or any heavy documents inside CRM. I want to store them automatically inside OneDrive or SharePoint. Now, in order to make CRM automatically store the documents in those places, I need to tell CRM where to actually store my files. Okay, we start off by going to document management settings. This will open a list of all the entities that are enabled for document management. So I can either go over here and go down and look for opportunity, There we go, opportunity. And you can see it's already enabled for document management. So if I go into my settings and I go to the entity settings for the actual opportunity itself, you will see it's already marked. Let's go and see if our task opportunity is enabled for documents. Let's go see. There we go. Let's enable task for documents. So that means if I assign a task to somebody, like let's say I assign a task like I did to Nandus to go buy stationery, by me enabling task for document management, it will now enable him to actually upload the receipt for that purchase. Okay, so that's done. Let's click on next, and then I need to select the base entity. Alright, so the base entity, either account or contact. So in this case I'm going to select account because I am assigning the tasks to a contact, and I want the contact to be able to work with that opportunity. Well, not the contact to work with the opportunity. Sorry, I'm talking interacting with on a contact level. All right, and then we click on next, and then you let the wizard run and do its thing. So what the wizard is basically going to do is going to go and activate or enable the task entity for documents or document storage. Okay, and you see it says the message will pop up, say document libraries are being created. It's giving you a SharePoint path, so it's ABC for Dynamics. It's SharePoint.com. This process may take a few minutes. Click on OK to continue. Let's click on OK, and then you'll see over here it's busy creating the SharePoint sites and folders. All right, and some of them already says already done, but if I scroll down, you'll see over here the task one was a new folder that was created. That's perfect. We are done now. Okay. Next thing, let's go and enable OneDrive for Business. So click on it. You can read the terms. So it says here, by enabling OneDrive for Business support for server-based SharePoint integration, users will be able to store files on their OneDrive for Business account. Files stored on OneDrive for Business will be private until shared with others. So this is really cool. Let me explain to you why I like this feature. If I, in other words, if I upload a document in CRM, the document is then stored in OneDrive. Okay, that means CRM users, or I, in essence, because I own the document, I uploaded the document, I'll have access to that document. But if I actually go into my OneDrive on this side and I share that document with somebody else, that means non-CRM users can also interact with that document. You have the same functionality with OneNote, right? So that's really, really important, is that at some point in your exams, I remember at one point that they explained a scenario where if I have a document, but I want CRM users and non-CRM users to be able to interact with the document, this is actually how it's done. I go and enable the OneDrive in CRM, which enables me through CRM to upload, import, and update documents directly in CRM. But non-CRM users that are on the same tenant or within the same subscription that have an Office license with OneDrive will be able to actually access that document. So that's fantastic, right? Okay, just tick it and then click on OK. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and enable OneNote as well, right? So that's really cool. So I'll be able to use OneNote to store notes and also collaborate with other users inside CRM. Okay, let's go do that. OneNote integration. Okay, and for OneNote integration, I just want to go and put this onto an opportunity. Oh, it's already there. That's fantastic. Finish. Okay, here it says OneDrive for Business. Select the folder that Dynamics 365 will use to store your personal files. Let's go do that. And there's the folder, Dynamics 365. Let's just go. We can give it a different name if you want to. All right, great. So let's go and check it out now. So let's go and refresh our CRM. Let's go and actually see if the task is ready. So I'm going to go create a new task. And over here, I'm going to create it for Nandus again. There we go. And let's say order computers. That's the task. and we need 2 times, let's say, let's just say PCs, for example. And when do we need it by? We need it by Friday at 12 o'clock. Cool. Save and close. Alright. So now my task is created. He goes off, he goes and buys it, right? Inside his task, let's just see if our document is enabled already. There we go. There's our task, right? If we go to the related, we should see documents there. Not quite yet. Okay. And then under the details, there's the details of, oh, we're actually looking at the user. So sorry. Let's go back. I meant to actually open the task, not the user. Alright. Here's our task over here. Let's open the task. Okay. Let's go to related. And there you see it says documents. Let's click on the documents. Remember, it was not there before, and it wouldn't be there until such time that that we actually enabled the document for SharePoint. There's your little SharePoint logo that shows us that it's there. We can go and upload a document over here, choose the file, and then you also have an option to overwrite an existing file if need be. Okay, so if I'm updating a file, I can select yes, or if I select no, then it'll give the file do not update, so it'll create a new copy with a new unique string. Okay, fantastic. So there's the how to actually activate the SharePoint and OneDrive integration. Okay, and then let's go back to our opportunity. Now have a look at this. If we click on the plus and we go to OneNote, I'm not sure if we actually completed this task, but let's just check. I click on OneNote, it'll open up my OneNotes. There we go. You'll see the subject in my OneNote folder talks about the business analysis. So there's the relationship for the business analysis opportunity that's here. And let's just call this meeting notes, for example. I can put that in there. And then if I wanted to, I could use my dictation function, allow it to your microphone, which will then obviously go and dictate everything that you, or the notes that you're making straight in. You could also do things like adding pictures, doing your normal styling that you would normally do using your OneNote. So OneNote is really, really powerful, one of my favorite Microsoft tools. Okay, so there we go. There it's saved. You can make the corrections wherever you want to make. Okay, and now we're done. Alright, let's go back over here. Let's actually go and refresh, and let's see if we can find our OneNote inside the timeline. Might take a little bit of time to show, but it should show in my notes. Okay, not quite yet. Alright, not a problem. If I close it over here, if I close my OneNote over there, and then if I can go straight back to OneNote, and it'll take me straight back into the same folder, and I can see the meeting notes and the rest of the notes that are connected directly to this opportunity. Really, really nice function. And again, users that don't have access to CRM but do have access to Office 365 will be able to, through their Office 365, will be able to read your notes and so forth. So it's a really nice way for active CRM users to be able to interact with non-CRM users. Cool stuff. I hope you guys learned a lot. Thank you so much for watching this video, and watch out for my next videos. To get a quick update when I update videos, make sure you join our LinkedIn group. We have a LinkedIn group on LinkedIn called ABCs for Dynamics, where I talk about all the basics for CRM, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for Logix 365, where you'll also get notifications when I post new content there as well. Thank you so much, guys, and until we meet the next time.